plan was a great plan to help move us economically because he knows where all the bones are buried. Now, our community didn't respond, and the thing is, initially I wanted Senator Lena Taylor to run, like a lot of other people, and she should be kicking herself hard as hell in her butt because she didn't have to have $1 million to be the mayor. She would have had way more votes. So to be real, Joe just wasn't a candidate, and I had encouraged him to just support Lena and drop out at Juneteenth. But he said he prayed on it, and him and his wife felt that was the move from God. And then the next day, Joe made a bad move, and I talked about it. And you know, we have to have forgiveness, but we also have to have accountability. So I held him accountable publicly because I put my name on the line, and I came forward and said, hey, we just can't give our vote for free to anybody. And so that's where we're standing now. So I just kind of want to address something in reference to being online and talking about the election. I made a post last week, and it was a post about being a voting block through the right end. And I said, I'm going to write in mostly dead folks because there's living people not doing what they could do in the grave. So I named some street legends. I named some people from my generation that people know. So have you heard of a young lady named Queena before?
I don't think so.
Right, you're not from Milwaukee, right, originally. I'm saying you're from Milwaukee, but you didn't grow up in the neighborhoods.
Correct.
So anybody out there that's in my age group, you say the name Queena, this sister put fear in men. She was so tough. So seriously, your girl, she'll take your girl.
Oh, that's not
So but you know the thing about it, and then Jerry Walker, I named him for mayor. So today I'm going to vote, and everything I said I was going to do, I'm going to do. I'm going to write in Chris Davis. Another Chris. He passed away, and so deep about it is his nephew was named after him, and he got killed by the East Troy police. That's the young man who was killed by the East Troy police. So I'm writing in him and his nephew, which is the same name. So I named several people, and I said, look,
Do you have no faith in the current crop of folks who are on the ballot seeking office right now?
Not necessarily saying I don't have faith in them. And I like what Senator Lena Taylor says. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. So with Chris Larson and Chris Abley, you would have to go with Abley because you know that at least he tried to create with Representative, I would say County Supervisor Khalif Rainey, future possible alderman, the Office of African American Affairs. So at least we are on the agenda. He did come on your show and say, hey, he's going to spend his 4 years. We can hold him accountable.
Right.
Larson, on the other hand, definitely not. But my thing is, as an independent third party, war without bloodshed party, we're talking about having our own candidates. Now, people are they were actually disappointed in the mayoral candidates. They were disappointed in several candidates, and people don't know who to vote for. So if we can come together as a voting bloc, the reason you do it right in is for future elections. You take that people, if it's 500 people, and you establish those individuals as a group that say we independent and we're gonna bring our own candidate in. So you give people a choice, and that's what democracy is all about. It's not all about just two choices. You need to have more than two.
When you saw the press conference of Joe Davis endorsing Bob Donovan for mayor, your thoughts on that?
What about my body? How did my body feel?
Tell us about both. Cause I know how hard you worked.
Yes, but
for the early votes. I know how hard you worked to support Joe Davis, and then also, were you disappointed about the low number of votes that Joe Davis got? Only like 12,000 votes.
Yeah, I was disappointed because we patronize people in every area that don't patronize us. Now, Mayor Beard, that nice guy thing, I don't want to hear that no more. I don't. Because that's all we talk about. It's nice guy, this, nice guy, that. Now, he is, of course, he'll shake your hand, talk to you, but we haven't put an agenda before him to force him to address it. We 40% of the city, so that means we need to be talking about the $1 billion that's spent in our household, pretty much. We need to have a voice in that. And the only way you can get a voice in it is you have to participate, and that's what this early voting is about. Look, we need to send a message that, hey, even though our candidates might not have won for several races, even automatic, you still participate. We lost a battle in a long war towards freedom. So that's just one aspect of it, but we patronize everybody that don't patronize ourselves. So Mayor Baird is like 90% black turnout in this election because we just conditioned to always, I'm talking about since Africa, it's in our DNA to be conditioned to be Africans first. But then since we've been in America, we've been conditioned to always work for the profit of Europeans.
So when Joe Davis said he was going to be supporting Bob, now obviously you don't want to hear the nice guy thing about Tom Barrett. Well, you supported Joe Davis, and you know Joe. You know him for a very long time. I'm sure you trust Joe when he makes decisions. Was that a decision that he made that you think he should not have made when he endorsed Bob Donovan?
I'll tell you like this, Sherman, if you were going to go to 98.3 and I supported you all this time, and you didn't even come to the community and say, and what do you all feel about this move I'm about to make, or at least tell the people thank you.
Right.
Do that, man. We didn't get none of that.
No warning that he was going to do
Just,
anything like
I'm
that?
calling you Sherman, you done jumped off the bridge. That makes me sad, man.
Yeah.
That you would do that, Sherman. You done killed yourself, man. So that's what he did. And so that's something he has to live with. He's cool with it, and he also feels that he brought us together. Yeah, he brought us together for one day. All of a sudden, everybody's at this press conference, and I'm gonna keep it real, man. That everybody came to that press conference to so-called hold Barrett accountable. Yeah, right. A few weeks later, it's me and the local electeds. I give all the black aldermen and women, credit for at least coming to the table and saying, look, we want to bring an agenda to the mayor and not just say we're going to give him our vote.
Right.
Everybody else I can't speak for because a lot of other people, they disappeared. And then we had a Black Political Determination Day, and we highlighted Sister Lena Taylor. She came with a nice, I'm talking about a concise plan for agriculture that you never seen because she doesn't have the time, I would say unaffected time, uninterrupted time to just come to the community with a complete plan and explain it through PowerPoint, through stories, through everything. So that was great that she was able to do that. And so then the disappointment is that she met with the mayor last week and she just finally posted it about our agenda, right? But the first thing she talked about is police brutality. They didn't even get to the agriculture piece after that conversation. It was so long and heated. And so Mayor Barrett understands that he don't have to do anything for us because we're gonna vote for him anyway. Just like if you had a girl at your house that you didn't marry, you're gonna keep having sex with her without no protection for one, and then also without no commitment for marriage, because she's gonna keep giving it up. And that's what we're doing.
So is there a way to hold Mayor Tom Dare to come? Early voting starts today, right? So people can go and they can start voting today. The election is April 5th. So, Mike, do you think there's any way to hold him accountable, even though you say the black community is going to vote for him in a 90% number no matter what? Is there any way to hold him accountable?
Yes, it is. And I think he understands this next time around that our agenda has to be before him, because we have too many pieces and too many, not just elected officials, but we have leadership from Raheem Islam and the Milwaukee leaders situation to the owner of this station, to my man, Mr. Jones. So we have different people in position that can come forth and say, hey, this is our agenda, we want it addressed. And then, you know, we can dovetail into what happened over the weekend, because those are things that need to be done too to hold people accountable. Like, we come to everything you ever do.
I want to get to those things that happened over the weekend. We're going to take a break in just a second. I want to have you explain the digital
militia,
digital
10,000
militia
Fearless came out.
You all went to, I'm going to give a little preview of the story. I gave a little preview at the beginning of the show, that you all went to Chris Larson's campaign office on King Drive looking for him and wanting an apology from him for the disrespectful things that he has said to State Senator Lena Taylor. I'm going to pause right there. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk more with former Milwaukee Alderman, current community activist, and just all-around great guy, Michael G. Jr. WNOV 860 AM The Voice. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
This is war without bloodshed.